work as a radio news producer, my colleagues and I had the enormous responsibility to decide what makes the news every day. You can imagine how stressful my work was because, as a leading radio station, what we highlighted on the news had resonance across the country. I verily recall we paid attention to religious NGOs, that is, not-for-profit organizations that directly relate to religion or where religious faith inspires their values. These NGOs have an increasing role in societies as they work on oppressing social issues like poverty, hunger, discrimination, or mediating in war conflicts. However, just as it was in my time as a news producer, we still hear little about them in the media. Why? We know that for several decades, researchers have tried to understand what motivates journalists to seek their stories. They realize that journalists are driven not only by their political orientation and personal values, but also by the media's values and resources. Researchers also understand that these elements intertwine with social and cultural factors where journalists and their media are nested. Still, I was left to wonder how journalists of newspapers, radio and television make sense of religious NGOs. Research on what influences journalists to cover religious NGOs is almost non-existent. My work looks at the social, political, and cultural discourses involved in why, when, and how journalists cover Catholic NGOs in Mexico and Russia. I chose Catholic NGOs because they are among the strongest groups of religious NGOs. Comparing Mexico and Russia let me identify how different yet parallel scenarios interact in two societies where Catholicism is a majority, such as Mexico, versus Russia, where Catholicism is a minority. Some may argue that the stories about these organizations are not attractive, cannot compete with the ample flow of daily information, or if published, they might promote the Catholic faith. Others might claim that media are so diverse nowadays that if I want to know about Catholic NGOs, I should look at Catholic media. My work challenges these beliefs by placing journalists' concern towards this organization as a result of social, cultural, and political discourses of the countries where they work. The study takes place when journalists have become more vulnerable worldwide and religious NGOs gain prominence in development and humanitarian assistance. As a society, we should question what stories the media present us. We need to see religious NGOs, their efforts, challenges, and the people they help as part of the bigger picture.